Right, great news. The itinerary has been approved. Now we've got to set the invoice. So, to set the invoice, scroll down, click on the button Set the Invoice, and sure enough, here's your invoice. Now, details we have, or we can edit by scrolling down to Invoice Details. Now, invoice number. This is a number generated by the system. You can edit this, but it is actually quite logical. It may not look it, but it is. The first number represents your city, so that will always be a constant. For Riga, it's 01. This number is the number that it's a sequential number. So the next invoice that is generated from the system will be number 46. And then this is a reference to the inquiry number. So you hear 6952 is the inquiry. This is the number of the inquiry. You can edit this, but if you wanted to, if your accountants are happy to use your own invoice numbering system for travel out there, then I would suggest leaving it. Here, if you wanted, you can set an invoice before preparation if you want to give them a discount, but at this stage, because they've approved, I would not use that function. But on before preparation, or if now they've sort of said, can we have a discount, you can give one. You can either give it as a percent or an amount. So whatever number you put in here would be considered 10%, but if you wanted to put, let's say, 100, you want to give a €100 discount, then you can put the number here and then just highlight amount rather than percent. Again, if you wanted to organise a two-part payment for this booking, you can set a deposit amount. So here you could say, okay, you want 20% of the full payment by a certain date and then the balance by another date. For this demonstration, I won't set a deposit, but you can do that. Alternatively, you can set the deposit amount to set the deposit as an amount rather than a deposit, rather than a percentage. If that is the case, it's important to have this as 0 and state the amount. Here, if you wanted to highlight the situation that you pay the balance in cash, so they pay the deposit, but you want to pay the balance in cash, here you then select that button there. Here, ignore that. It's pay by credit card. We don't have that functionality, so you can ignore that. VAT, it's default for your city, but it could be 0 if it's VAT reverse charge. It could be 21 if it's a local client. That you can edit accordingly. And then here is the commission that we take on that booking. Default, it's between 10 and 15%, depending on your destination. Pretty logical here. Deposit, if you set a deposit, you can set when that's due by. That will show on the invoice. And you can also set when the balance is due by. If you have not set a deposit, you do not need to set the deposit due by date. You just simply have to set your payment due by date. The invoice date is automatically the invoice date is generated on the day it's approved. But if you want to change the invoice date, you can do. This you don't need to worry about. Payment period, and here you can insert if Frank's gone and put his company details here. So this is the company name. That's the VAT number. But if you want to, if they got a different pay, then you can insert, to demonstration purposes, you can see here, set the invoice details, and you can see now that this accounting details are put here. So if you wanted additional accounting details, you can write information in this box and it will appear on the invoice. Once you've done that, that's effectively it. This is your invoice. Then you can click Send Invoice, and the invoice is then sent to the client. Once you've received the payment, please press Invoice paid, once the money appears in your account. And that's it. The questionnaire will then get sent automatically after the event. But that's pretty much how to set and save an invoice. Thank you.